Hello everyone, this is eHouse from Gun Gamers, and today I'm going to be talking about this, the Krytac LMG Enhanced. Now, full disclosure here, I got this Krytac LMG Enhanced from my friends at River City Airsoft for a good deal, so thank you very much to those guys for getting this in for me. And I'm also a bit of a Krytac fanboy. That shouldn't really surprise anyone who's been watching for a while, but I love Krytac, I love their products, and I have a couple of friends over there, so, you know, it's kind of tough for me to be objective, but I'm going to because that's what I do. Now to start with, let's talk about what you get with the LMG Enhanced. You get the LMG itself, a standard orange flash hider that I took off, the box magazine, and a cleaning rod manual, and that's really it. That's what you get in the box. The gun does not, unfortunately, include any iron sights, which would kind of be nice in my opinion, just because for a $500 gun, you know, it'd be nice to be able to take it out of the box and be able to go skirmish it once you throw a battery in. So iron sights would be appreciated, especially since this front gas block, the rail is not at a level that a standard iron sight will really work, because you can see the rear rail is at such a different level. So you would need to figure something else out to mount iron sights on those positions, or you would need to use a key mod rail on top of the handguard to mount a standard iron sight. In my opinion, that's kind of a pain, just because, again, I like running iron sights as backups whenever possible, and the fact that you need to buy more stuff to make iron sights work on a $500 gun, that's kind of a downer. I just put a red dot on here though, and if you put a good reliable red dot on, that shouldn't be a huge problem, but something to consider. So what is the LMG Enhanced? Well, the LMG Enhanced is, for all intents and purposes, really an M4. But it's an M4 with a different upper receiver. So it's based, well, I can't say based, it's largely inspired by the real Ares Defense Shrike system. Now, the Shrike is a belt-fed upper receiver conversion for an AR-15 lower. So the box magazine locks into the AR-15 magwell, while the actual feeding takes place from a belt. Obviously, on the airsoft version, the actual feeding comes up through the box magazine going into the magazine well, and the actual belt-fed feature is just for looks. These dummy bullets are, unfortunately, again, not included with the gun. You have to find those, and make sure you use 5.56 replica dummy bullets because anything else won't fit. So, back to what is the LMG Enhanced. In real terms, it's a Krytac version 2 gearbox, a Krytac lower receiver, and it's a box mag and a different upper receiver assembly. It's nothing crazy, it's nothing different. If you know how Krytacs perform, you can reasonably expect what you're gonna get with this one in terms of performance. Accuracy is great, range is great, the reliability has been very good. Rate of fire on a 7.4 LiPo is, in my opinion, just about perfect for an LMG. A lot of guys like really high rates of fire, and if you want that, you could run an 11.1 in this, I guess. But for me, with a support gun, I like having it where I can stretch the ammo just a little more while still having enough volume to put out and suppress heads. I also like that the gun does come in semi-auto still, and you can still use regular M4 mags with it, so I actually run this in conjunction with my Haley Strategic D3 with some more M4 magazines in it. That way, if I need to, I can ditch the box mag and run it pretty much just like a rifle. That, I find, makes this a little bit more flexible, so again, for $500 and not being limited to full auto like on some SAW and M60 variations, that is kind of nice that you can run it multiple ways. So if your field's restricted to semi-auto only, but you really want to use this gun, bam, semi-auto option. Now, talking again about what unique features this has over other LMGs. This does come with the standard Krytac integrated MOSFET, which is pretty nice. It has a key mod handguard as opposed to a lot of the other standard handguards on a lot of other LMGs. That can be a good or a bad thing depending on whether or not you like the looks. For me, I don't love it, but I don't hate it. I like that I was able to put this grip pod on there very easily, but I put these key mod rail covers on there just because I don't love the look of the exposed key mod on the sides. The top I pretty much left alone because whatever, I don't care that much. But I did also put a Blue Force Gear sling adapter through here so I can run a 2-point Vickers sling, nice and padded, which helps with carrying this gun for long periods of time. The other unique thing that this gun has is obviously the Crytek Box Mag, which they do sell separately, but this is included with it. It has the Krytac stock, which is unique to other LMGs, so you do get a little more battery flexibility. But one of the big cons of this particular LMG, in my opinion, is the fact that it won't fit big batteries. I have an 1800 milliamp 7.4 LiPo in here, I believe, right now, and it just fits. So you might want to consider replacing the stock if you're planning on going through a couple of these box mags, because while I find that, one 15 to 1800 milliamp LiPo will empty the box mag just because the Krytac motor is very efficient, so I haven't had much trouble with that. You're gonna want backups, you're gonna want carry backups, or you're gonna want just a bigger stock that'll hold bigger batteries if you plan on going through a ton of ammo with this thing. Now, the hop-up adjustment on this is a little different from what you're used to with your standard Krytacs. There is a folding charging handle on this side. You flip that out, pull that back, and you're able to adjust your hop-up through the ejection port. It does not hold back, unfortunately, so it can be a little finicky getting your finger in there while holding this back. Speaking of the handguard, one of the issues I ran into with this gun actually is related to the handguard. If you can tell, this handguard locks in at 2 points. There's a hinge at the rear that a couple of prongs go into, and then there's this point where there's this threaded cap, or this threaded nut, that goes down onto a couple prongs that go onto the gas tube. I have found that if you are on the field and you're being really fast and really rough, you can actually pull this whole lower handguard assembly off by accident. That's because this threaded cap, unless you Loctite or epoxy or somehow otherwise secure it, can come a little loose, and that won't put the necessary tension on those prongs to keep it in place. So I Loctited that cap, or nut, or whatever you want to call it, and I haven't had that issue recur, but you're going to want to put some Loctite on there, because otherwise you're going to be running around at the speed of sound, Sonic the Hedgehog style, and all of a sudden your lower handguard is going to be, well, in your hand and not on the gun. Alright, so to take out the box mag on this gun is usually pretty easy, but it's a little bit different once you have a fake belt on here. So you're going to press this button here forward, hinge up the top cover, remove the bullets, press the button, and take the box magazine out. From here, you can put down that top cover and run standard M4 magazines, or you can just put the box mag in, not bother with the fake bullets, and be ready to go. Speaking of the box mag, this box mag is a little different than you might be used to. So as you can see, the top is basically an M4 magazine high cap that they chopped off and bolted to the box mag. Now, it has a normal high cap feeding door, and you will pour BBs in here to fill the reservoir, but that doesn't hold a ton of ammo. I would say, if I had to estimate, that holds maybe 500 to 600 rounds. So how you get this box mag to fill to its total 3,500 round capacity is a little odd. You will fill up this top reservoir as much as possible, and then there's a switch on the back here. And that switch, what you're going to do is you're going to pull that upward and tilt the box mag and let the BBs in the top reservoir drip down into the larger reservoir on the bottom. And this will allow you to fill the box mag all the way to its 3,500 round capacity. So you're going to keep on doing that until you have filled this reservoir. I like to fill it to the point where I can't really get this thing to close anymore, because obviously the hinge inside is hitting the BBs. But that means that when you run out of ammo in this top reservoir, which is what is being wound and fed from when you press the red button on the bottom, that means you basically have to open this door and tilt the box mag upside down to get this top reservoir to fill again. That's kind of weird. It's, I don't hate it, but it would be kind of nice if they could have figured out a way to make it where you could feed all 3,500 rounds at once. I think they did this because they said they were having trouble making it a reliable feeding mechanism from all 3,500 rounds just in an open reservoir. So you do get, I would say, probably 500 or 600 rounds in this top. Maybe you can get more if you find a better way to take advantage, because this is all open. But you can get, like I said, for me, generally 500 or 600 rounds before you need to tilt the box mag. Personally, I just tilt the whole damn gun upside down and just shake the stupid thing. It's kind of weird, but the box mag feeds really, really well, and it does allow you to carry a lot of ammo right on the gun itself. So, you know, take that for what it's worth. So I guess it's kind of weird, but I don't really hate it. I actually kind of like it. Like I said, just not having to carry a bunch of high caps on my person and having that box mag that you can use for certain milsim games that'll let you use it is kind of nice. Now, the box mag is powered by one 9-volt battery, and you access it by pulling up on these tabs on the side here, and it is really stiff. You got to get in there. It's honestly easier from the rear. So yeah, actually it is easier from the rear. If you notice where the actual open tab is, this tab is shorter on this side, so it's easier to pull that out. There's one 9-volt battery slot in there. You tilt the box mag. It's kind of a pain to get out sometimes. And bam, you have this 9-volt battery holder. Just put your 9-volt in. You got these two wires leading to these two leads. Put that back, and you are ready to close the cover and get your box mag rolling. What I've heard of some people doing, and this is actually a really good idea, to give credit where credit is due, I believe I heard this idea in an amped airsoft video. Some people will cut the leads leading to that 9-volt battery slot, and they will actually install the connector for a Polar Star LiPo on there, because this spot is apparently perfectly sized for a Polar Star LiPo. So if you want to have a rechargeable battery option, and maybe you already have a Polar Star, or maybe you Polar Starred the LMG, then you can actually use your Polar Star LiPos in this with just a little bit of conversion. So thanks to the Amped guys they're the ones who I saw the idea from, just trying to give credit where it's due. The other nice thing about this box mag is you can either wind it electronically by pressing this red button, or you can wind it manually with the manual winding wheel. Now, the manual winding wheel is a bit stiffer than a lot of the other high caps you're going to be used to because there is an electric motor you're fighting as well. But that's a good backup for in case your battery dies mid-game or something like that. So that's a nice little touch. So I mentioned milsim games when I was talking about the box mag, and that's definitely one of the areas where you're going to have to consider if this is the option for you. I know American Milsim, Emsato, and I think Lion Claws let you use this as an LMG, but Milsim West does not, as do a lot of other areas that will not let you use an LMG replica that isn't a replica of an LMG in use by armed forces. This is a replica of a Shrike, which does exist and is a real thing, but it's one, a little different from the traditional Shrike, and two, no militaries use the Shrike. So if your milsim event of choice does not allow you to use a Shrike, then this is probably not the LMG that you're going to want to run at those milsim events. For me, I bought this mostly for fun at my local fields and for American Milsim and Emsato games, so this will obviously be allowed, and there we go, problem solved. So, all in all, what do I think of the Krytac LMG? Well, I have fielded it probably 3 or 4 times hard at this point. It's held up very well overall, minus the handguard issue and some weirdness with the box mag, just for how weird it is to reload. Would I recommend it? For the performance, again, I kind of know reasonably what to expect what Krytac to deliver just because I've owned my CRB for so long. I love the performance of it, I love how it shoots, I love how it plays, and I love how light it is. That's one thing I haven't mentioned yet, is how light this AEG is. Compared to an M249 SAW of equal size, this weighs practically nothing. With the box mag in, it's just about 8 pounds, and with all the crap I have on it, even with the suppressor, well, mock suppressor, red dot sight, grip pod, this gun probably weighs still shy of 10 pounds, and a lot of other LMG AEGs weigh a lot more than that. So if you're like me and you kind of like having something a little lighter to run as an LMG option, this is probably your best option in terms of performance. It is expensive. It's $500 MSRP, and the Box Mag is a little weirder than some of the other box mags you may be used to. But that's kind of where you run into the sacrifices that you make for running a lighter LMG. You can't put down, 3,000 rounds continuously without reloading the Box Mag. You do have to tip it upside down, shake it for a few seconds, and allow some more rounds to fall into the reservoir. But do you find that nicer than carrying a bunch of high caps? I personally do. Do you, hate having a tiny little battery capacity as compared to some other LMGs that'll let you fit like a 5,000 milliamp battery in the Box Mag? Yeah, that's kind of a pain, but this gun also weighs, sub 8 pounds in factory configuration, and you do have a lighter battery, but you can always replace the stock if you want to. So it's kind of, you do have some give and take there. I really, really like it overall. From my experience skirmishing it, it's probably one of my new favorite AEGs. But like I said, being objective, I'm just trying to present you with the things that you will want to consider before making the purchase. So my overall thoughts on the Krytac LMG are that it's a ton of fun. I really love it. I'm really glad I bought it, and I think it's a great, great, great gun. But there are some sacrifices for the lighter weight and the AR configuration that you're going to want to keep in mind if you're considering this as a primary LMG option. So with all that said, I hope you have found this review informative and useful, and I hope that I will see you on the field soon. This is eHouse, signing off. Speaking of the Box Mag, son of a bitch.